Good evening, San Bernardino. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. Let me make sure that we are live and ready to go. I know that there's a lot going on, and this is some very, very important things to be discussing. So I'm going to give you guys a minute because I want as many people as possible to hear exactly what this claim is about and to review this timeline versus the claim. It's taken me a couple days, actually like a week or two, to really dive into this. And so I'm gonna just sit back for a minute, let you guys get caught up and share this. Please share this um, because this is part one of part two. And okay, so hi Paula, hi Scott, hi Labrea, hi, thank you guys for joining. Hi Ron. Please share this. Please make sure this gets out. Um, it's very, very important. So I am definitely willing to wait a minute for everybody to get involved. Okay, like 5 more seconds. Hi Sarah, thank you for joining. Please, you guys go ahead and share this. I want this to get out as many people as possible. Okay. All right. I know we'll share as we're doing things. So tonight, residents of the city of San Bernardino and all of those of you joining from everywhere else in the Inland Empire and throughout California, I guess, we're going to discuss Steve Carrigan's $2.2 million claim. And we're going to look at this claim from the actual timeline versus what he is saying transpired. Now, I want to make it clear, and I have it down there because um, what this talks about, and where this is going to be two parts, and I've done this in two parts for a reason, because there is so much information that I want you to be able to absorb tonight so that when we get into tomorrow, it'll all make sense because, I live and breathe this stuff 24 hours a day. And so I want you to be able to take a break on it. Everything, you guys, everything that I have has come from news reports or the claim itself, from Facebook postings, from firsthand accounts of people I've spoken to, that attended the meetings, from my own personal experience, from literally public recordings and public documents. Okay, so nothing here is anything that the public doesn't have their own ability to get. And I just want you to go along with this. So, okay, we're gonna jump in. Hi, Steve. Thank you guys for watching. Now, in addition to this, I would like to make this statement that I think is very, very important, and probably one of the biggest reasons that our city faces this type of litigation constantly. This is everything that our own city attorney should have been doing. Everything. Everything that I'm about to present to you is exactly my expectation for Sonia Carvalho and Thomas Rice to have put together to present to our own council. Because this is basic stuff. This is just out here information. So let's leave that there. And every council person should absolutely have every part of this information because it's their own record. It's how we follow the story along. So, okay, here we go. The claim, and I'm going to go through each page of the claim. So Steve Carrigan is claiming that there is 1.2-ish million dollars in property damage, $1 million in future costs, for a total of 2.2-ish million dollars. The city caused loss of his employment as the city manager Salinas, and he had an existing remaining 2 years and 3 months on his contract at a approximate amount of $731,250. He's saying that there's $500,000 damage to his reputation and an estimated $1 million loss of future employment opportunities for him. He filed that these damages would be taken to Superior Court. And then, please note that the witnesses he has claimed is the San Bernardino Mayor and City Council, Thomas Rice of Best and Krieger, Susie Soren, San Bernardino Human Resources, Gary Phillips, Bob Murray and Associates, who's a different headhunter for the city of San Bernardino, and Frank Rojas of Coffs and Associates, aka Gallagher. And we'll get into that. So that's who he's claiming are witnesses to all of these claims of damages that he has. So he is currently being represented by Executive Law Group. So he filed this claim and notified the city attorney's office, or I'm sorry, the city clerk's office. This is where all the claims are filed. This is how I got it, through a public records request. So these are his claims. 1, tortious interference with contract. The city, that's the whole city of San Bernardino, without privilege or justification, intentionally interfered with the existing employment agreement between Carrigan and the city of Salinas. That interference resulted in the city of Salinas terminating Carrigan's employment agreement. That's what he's saying. He's saying that the city got him fired. Number 2, intentional interference with prospective economic advantage. The city interfered with Carrigan's prospective business advantages as the future city manager of San Bernardino by conduct referenced in this claim, including by failing to hire him due to his race. Number 3, damage to reputation. The city has repeatedly and with malice engaged in unprivileged conduct by which Carrigan's reputation, as referenced in this claim, has suffered substantial damage. Number 4, intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress. The city both intentionally and negligently inflicted severe emotional distress on Carrigan by conduct referenced in this claim. Race discrimination in violation of Government Code Section 12940, subsection A. The city has discriminated against Carrigan on the basis of his race, he's white, as manifested by conduct referenced in this claim. Number 6, invasion of privacy, false light. The city invaded Carrigan's privacy by causing publicity that placed him in a false light in the public eye. And number 7, violation of Brown Act. The city unlawfully disclosed confidential information acquired in closed session as manifested by conduct referenced in this claim. Following is a summary of facts supporting the foregoing 7-point summary of his claim. And that's from his attorney, Craig Scott. Okay, so this is everything that he is claiming has happened to him in reference, okay, to what's following. Steve Carrigan. In July of 2023, Mr. Steve Carrigan, who was the city manager of Salinas, received a call from the recruiter, Frank Rojas of Coffs and Associates. Now, remember that when we went into this RFP, it was specifically stated that we wanted a headhunter of expanded reach, that we wanted someone that could get us a variation of candidates. And so all of a sudden, this Gallagher company comes up. It was never a new company. It was literally Coffs and Associates. So just want to make that very clear because you're going to see the names interchange. It's the same people. So Frank Rojas calls Steve Carrigan. Rojas suggested that Carrigan take a look at the San Bernardino city manager position. San Bernardino was then on their second recruitment to fill the position, and Rojas stated that he felt Carrigan's background and experience would be a good fit. Carrigan interviewed with San Bernardino on August 3rd, 2023 via Zoom, and on August 18th, 2023 in person. After the second interview, Rojas called Carrigan to tell him that he was in a dead heat between another candidate and Carrigan. Rojas told Carrigan that the San Bernardino City Council was requesting a list of demands from both candidates. A few days later, Rojas called to tell Carrigan that he was a finalist that the council wanted to move forward with. So, real quick, I want to make sure that everybody knows. So, Frank Rojas from Coffs and Associates reaches out to Steve Carrigan. When Steve Carrigan was hired by the city of Salinas, he said that this is the place. This is where I want to work. I never want to leave. I'm buying a house because this is my city where I want to be. And so Coffs would call someone who has dedicated their entire potential life service to the city of Salinas. I just really want you guys to hear that because it'll come out later on. Okay, so he's in a dead heat. Now, after August 18th, they want to move forward with him. Thomas Rice, and this is pictures of everybody because I want to make sure you guys know who everybody is. The chief assistant city attorney who sat in on San Bernardino City Council interviews of Carrigan reached out to Carrigan via email with a job offer from the San Bernardino City Council. After some back and forth, they agreed upon the terms of employment. Rice told Carrigan that the full city council would consider Carrigan's employment contract in closed session on August 28th of 2023. The city of San Bernardino, buy-in through the conduct of the mayor or members of the city council or city employees or other agents collectively and or individually, the city, breached the confidentiality of closed session and of the recruiting process and revealed Carrigan's candidacy for the San Bernardino city manager position to the Salinas City Council. The city acted without regard for the privacy rights of Carrigan and with the intent to interfere with Carrigan's existing contractual relations with the city of Salinas. Rojas declared that he and the San Bernardino city attorneys instructed the San Bernardino City Council about confidentiality and about the imperative that no one in attendance at the closed session mention any of the candidates' names to anyone outside of the recruitment process. Very important. In San Bernardino, there is a pattern of unprivileged conduct designed to destroy the employment prospects of any person seeking the San Bernardino city manager position who is not favored by the mayor or one of the more members of the San Bernardino City Council. Council members leak the candidacy of those who are disfavored to the city council, where the candidate then works. The wrongful intent and purpose of the city in this effort is to undermine the candidate's current employment so that the disfavored candidate becomes insecure and withdraws his candidacy. In August through October of 2023, the city succeeded in this effort with 2 candidates from the San Bernardino city manager position, Carrigan and one other who's touted in the press as having impeccably impressive credentials, according to an article posted September 8th, 2023 in the Sentinel. This candidate withdrew from consideration after someone contacted his or her employer and informed them that their city manager had applied for the San Bernardino city position. In Carrigan's case, he claims, after his name was revealed publicly by the city without Carrigan's authorization, Carrigan contacted Rojas requesting that his name be removed from consideration to be the next San Bernardino city manager. Carrigan also sent an email to the Salinas City Council and to all Salinas employees stating that after much consideration, Salinas is the place for me. But it was too late, according to Carrigan, for him to hold on his position in Salinas. The Salinas City Council had been tipped off by the city, and the Salinas City Council terminated Carrigan. After Carrigan's possible employment as city manager of San Bernardino was considered in closed session of the San Bernardino City Council, Frank Rojas of Coffs and Associates, informed Carrigan that 3 of the council members wanted a different candidate. Pressed for more information, Rojas told Carrigan, "This is about race. Carrigan's white. 2 of the 3 council members who did not vote to extend an employment offer to Carrigan are African American, and they wanted the other candidate, who is African American. In addition to the foregoing information, other confidential closed session information was revealed in violation of the Brown Act. In open session of August 28th, 2023, San Bernardino City Council meeting, a large group of African American residents attended. They spoke out against Carrigan's potential appointment as San Bernardino City Manager. 7 of the 10 speakers that spoke against Carrigan's candidacy are African American. 1 or more members of the city council orchestrated this effort to squash Carrigan's candidacy because Carrigan is not the correct favored race, Black. On Thursday, October 5th, 2023, the day after the San Bernardino City Council met in closed session, Carrigan received a call from Ms. Susie Soren. Soren is the San Bernardino Human Resources Director. Referring to the closed session of October 5th, Soren told Carrigan, "Steve, there was a lot of talk last night about you, and there was a lot of talk about how we cost you your job." Soren was referring to the city's interference that resulted in Carrigan's being terminated as a Salinas city manager. On Friday, October 6th, Carrigan received a call from a recruiter, Gary Phillips from Bob Murray and Associates. We are currently paying Bob Murray and Associates for previous recruitments, by the way. Phillips called to ask Carrigan if he would be interested in being the interim city manager for Pacific Grove. Phillips said Carrigan was a good candidate because he knows the issues in Monterey County, has 10 years experience as a city manager, and lives just 30 minutes from Pacific Grove. Other candidates from outside the region would have to commute or rent an apartment, and since this position of interim city manager Pacific Grove only pays a salary and no benefits, living nearby is a real plus. On October 10th, 2023, Phillips called to tell Carrigan that Phillips met with the Pacific Grove City Council, and they chose not to select Carrigan as interim city manager. Phillips explained to Carrigan that Pacific Grove City Council said that they knew of Carrigan and they think he's a good guy, but they're unwilling to move forward with Carrigan because of his circumstances were too political. The reference was to the actions of the city, San Bernardino, toward Carrigan. So this is everything that he is claiming. Everything. Period. Page 4. Period. So what I want to make sure we do now is go through his timeline compared to what actually happened. So here we go. August 18th, 2023, a special meeting. According to Carrigan, he claims that he and 2 other candidates, and I'm going with just 2 other candidates because he's going to end up being the top head-to-head, right? So there must have been someone else. And there was another claim there up to 5, but I'm going to go with 3. He's now in a dead heat after this meeting. And it is with, as outed by his claim and in other news stories, an African American. He's in this dead heat, according to his claim. Now, what's actually in this timeline is Carrigan and my assumption of 2 other candidates are there at the city to interview. However, before that process even takes place, Councilwoman Kimberly Calvin makes a motion. And she asked to reopen the recruitment and expand the pool of candidates. And I'm going to share that with you because I want you to hear what she is requesting. So give me a minute, because I need to be good at this. Yeah, one sec. Okay. Okay. All right. Here we go. Make sure you guys can see it. Now you're going to hear her motion on August 18th.
Councilwoman Kevin? Yeah, I'd like to make a motion. I make the motion that we continue this item and reopen the recruitment for an additional 120 days so we can continue to receive resumes from qualified candidates. This will now be the 12th city manager that this city has had, and our business community staff and residents are also asking us to look for stabilization. Sorry. That's a motion, second. Call for the votes. Councilmember Sanchez? No. Councilmember Ibarra? No. Councilmember Figueroa? No. Mayor Pro Tem?
No.
Councilmember Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilmember Calvin? Yes. Councilmember Alexander?
Nay.
I
Go back to my okay, so what you guys just heard was Councilwoman Calvin on August 18th at the special meeting with the African-American candidate in place, with Steve Carrigan in place, and another candidate. She said that she would like to pause the recruitment and expand the pool of candidates. Why? I'm going to say she wasn't satisfied, that there could have been more. And the council voted her down 5-2. The only person that supported her motion was Councilman Ben Reynoso. August 19th, and I'm assuming this from Carrigan's claim, that he received a phone call after the August 18th meeting from Frank Rojas of Coffin Associates. Carrigan is told that he is in a dead heat with another candidate. Now, we know, because of how this is reported out in multiple news sources, that he is in a dead heat with the African-American candidate. What we actually find out is that sometime between August 18th and August 21st, this other candidate has a phone call made to his police department. And he's been outed that he is a finalist for our recruitment. So right here between August 18th and August 21st of 2023, confidentiality has been breached out of closed session with regard to who the candidates are, and a candidate has been sabotaged to the point where they no longer want to continue with our recruitment because their job has been put in jeopardy. This sabotage, because of course someone has breached closed session to tell another person or entity of this candidate's name, identity, and now it's starting to spread. There is a special meeting August 21st of 2023. Nothing is recorded, nothing is reported out. My feeling from where I'm going to go with this, what Carrigan claims next, must have led to something about this other candidate pulling out, but there's no record. There's nothing until Carrigan claims that Thomas Rice, the assistant city attorney, emails him and offers him the job. And he says, like, we negotiated our terms and we went back and forth, and he accepts based on the terms and agreement that he came up with Thomas Rice. So between 18 to whenever, 21, there's been exposure. There's been a breach. A candidate has pulled out. Possibly this breach has been discussed at this special meeting of August 21st. And out of August 21st, no, nothing's reported to the public, but Thomas Rice emails Carrigan and says, you have the job now. I want you guys to ask yourself this question, because it's a question I've been asking myself since I created this. Are we to believe that the person or persons who leaked the name of the candidate that they called their job and told them they were a candidate, are we to believe that they didn't tell anybody about Carrigan? That Carrigan's name was kept quiet? Just ask yourself that question. If that even makes sense to you, that people would sabotage someone else and then all of a sudden want to keep a secret. So here we go. 4 days later, the San Bernardino County Sentinel publishes an article. And it says San Bernardino is poaching Salinas city manager with hiring scheduled next week. So an article comes out. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I don't always read, I'm not a religious reader of the Sentinel, but it literally was just a Google search, Steve Carrigan, and this pops up. And this is where we see it in print for the first time down here. Now, I'm pretty sure, and I would bet my money on it, Steve Carrigan is not a religious reader of the Sentinel either. But it just so happens that on August 26th, a Saturday, Carrigan sends an email to all the department heads in the city of Salinas, outing himself as a final candidate for the city manager in city of San Bernardino. He told everybody in his city in management, yeah, I'm a candidate and I'm interviewing. Now, this is just purely based off the previous slides. I think when he got the call or the email from Thomas and he negotiated and they were like, yeah, we're going to hire you, he got cocky and he was like, peace out. I'm going. Like, just so you know, be ready, because he thought that Monday that was it for him. And he told people, he told an entire city. Now, are we to believe that people in Salinas keep all of the information that they have directly to themselves? This is, at this time, 2023, not 182023, like when we have carrier pigeons and like all of this craziness. Like, does information not travel? So here we are. Then we come to August 27th, 2023. This is the first time I and many others start to see a post on Facebook by Mr. Michael Davis. Now, he posts every once in a while, but this one really hit off. He says, has our mayor and council colluded with selective council members to hire a new city manager? It is being made public that Mayor Helen Tran, along with council members Theodore Sanchez, Sandra Barra, Juan Figueroa, and Fred Charette, plotted and violated the Brown Act to hire current Salinas city manager Steve Carrigan. Now, if you read the Sentinel, if you know somebody in Salinas, that information's already out. Steve Carrigan was fired from the city of Merced for withholding important financial documents and information from the public and elected officials. That is just a Google search. The most qualified candidate was sabotaged by our elected officials and the Police Officers Association, POA. I still, and I just want to, even though I'm reading this, I just want to confirm, I still cannot confirm the Police Officers Association portion. I can't. So, but through recordings and other things, can confirm the sabotage. But you know, and the POA, I've had my discussion with the president. They are fully aware that I still say I can't confirm this, and they've appreciated that I make that known. They plan to hire the unqualified city manager candidate on Monday night behind closed doors. People need to show up and demand an explanation for these illegal actions. The meeting will be held Monday, August 28th at 201 Northeast Street. Okay, so this is where we're hearing this online. Now, sorry, Michael Davis, you really weren't the head of any of this because it was already reported basically like 5 days before you, and Carrigan put out his own email. So I get and I understand now, and then, you know, the candidate already being sabotaged, a lot of this is floating. But this is where I, like I said, and others really heard this for the first time online. Now, August 28th meeting, special meeting. Carrigan claims in the open session of August 28th, 2023, San Bernardino City Council meeting, a large group of African American residents attended. They spoke out against Carrigan's potential appointment as San Bernardino City Manager. 7 of the 10 speakers that spoke out against Carrigan's candidacy are African American. 1 or more members of the city orchestrated this effort to squash Carrigan's candidacy because Carrigan was not the correct favored race, Black. There's nothing like race baiting in a claim, right? Like, maybe Carrigan didn't know that our former assemblywoman was a Black woman, that our one of our members of the library board is a Black woman, that how often our council members call on the Black pastors, the congregations in our community they're always willing and happy to use them for political purposes. But 2 of our most well-known pastors showed up. And you know that not one of them, not one person, and you want to know why I know this? 1, because it's recorded, and 2, because I was there, ever mentioned Carrigan's race. All they asked was that we pick a highly qualified candidate, that their concern was Carrigan's publicly known professional record of withholding financial documents from the public and his own elected officials. That is what the record shows. It also shows that the public was aware that another candidate had been sabotaged, that closed session had been breached, that there were issues with everything that was happening that night. The record will also show, because I'm going to play it for you, that Councilwoman Calvin, again, you guys, because where would we be? Where would we be as a community if Councilwoman Calvin didn't make a motion to immediately end the recruitment process due to violations of confidentiality ethics and sabotage of a candidate that led to their own withdrawal. And Councilman Reynoso was her second. And you know what? It failed 4-3 with Councilman Alexander joining them. So I'm going to play that for you. I want you to hear. Let me make sure I'm on the right one. Okay. So, hang on one sec. Here we go. This is from the meeting of 8/28.
No, I'd like to make a motion to immediately close the recruitment for city manager and our contract with Coffin Associates and re-agendize the topic to our next regularly scheduled meeting of September 6th. We cannot hire anyone from a failed process that lacks confidentiality and ethics, which has caused a candidate to withdraw. We need a recruitment that is open, transparent, and includes community input. Here. City Park.
No, this is a closed, this is agendized in a closed session. We can't be making these actions in open session.
You can make I just made a motion.
You cannot.
Yes, we can.
There can be a motion from the chair on items of agenda. There can be a motion from the floor on the agenda. Normally, if you are overruling the chair, and I don't know where the chair is on this, but if you're overruling the chair, it does require a supermajority vote, which you can make the motion before you go into the closed session. What you can't do is you cannot make the decision. You can't move that we stop the process here because the item that's been agendized is to discuss your city manager. I guess your motion would be more that you are ending this meeting. Is that you want to address?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, because the item of not having a process was not on the agenda. So the things you can do this evening, you can go into closed session and discuss that potential if that's what you want to do, or you could end the meeting. Because we do have candidates, I will say that we have information. I think we could to at least give us some information on where you stand so that we can communicate. If you do want to stop the process, that's something we agendize for September 6th.
I can make a motion that we end this meeting and agendize to September 6th.
Okay. So motion in a second. The proper votes.
Councilmember Sanchez?
No.
Councilmember Ibarra?
No.
Councilmember Figueroa? No. Councilmember Charette?
No.
Councilmember Reynoso?
Yes.
Councilmember Calvin?
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander?
Aye.
Motion fails.
Did you guys hear that? How the motion failed? So, yeah, that's public. Like, so Councilwoman Calvin makes this motion. Coming back. Makes a motion to end the recruitment because of a violation of confidentiality, because of a violation of ethics, and because what has transpired outside of closed session has caused a candidate to withdraw. And you heard it. Theodore, Sandra Ibarra, Juan Figueroa, and Fred Charette said, nope. No, thank you. We're going to keep moving on. You know why? And there's Sonia Carvalho, city attorney, sitting right there, hearing a sitting councilwoman say that there's been a breach, that there's been a violation, that there has been an outing, and she does nothing. That's the facts versus what he's claiming. So, that night, he claims, in Carrigan's case, after his name was revealed publicly by the city, without Carrigan's authorization, Carrigan contacted Rojas, requesting that his name be removed from consideration to be the next San Bernardino city manager. Carrigan also sent his email to Salinas City Council and to all Salinas employees stating that after much consideration, Salinas is the place for me. But wait, at the same time, as we read above, after Carrigan's possible appointment as city manager of San Bernardino was considered in closed session of the San Bernardino City Council, Frank Rojas calls and informs, I'm saying he must have called, but that's how he said, informed Carrigan that 3 of the council members wanted a different candidate. Carrigan pressed for more information. Rojas tells him, this is about race. Carrigan isn't white. 2 of the 3 council members who did not vote to extend an employment offer to Carrigan are African American, and they wanted the other candidate who is African American. In addition to the foregoing information, other confidential closed session information was released in violation of the Brown Act. Now, here's the thing. Councilwoman Calvin, on August 18th, with still in the standing, a Black African American candidate, still wanted to expand the recruitment effort to get more qualified candidates. Ben Reynoso seconded. This same meeting that he's claiming that because he wasn't Black, that candidate had already pulled out, had already been sabotaged. And Councilwoman Calvin is the only one who spoke up to what had transpired through a breach of the Brown Act, breach of ethics. And her counterparts voted her down. So we have to ask ourselves these questions. And I want you to sit back. This is why we're doing 2 parts tonight. Ask yourself these questions, San Bernardino. Who told Frank Rojas anything was about race? Who gave him this closed session information? Because he wasn't there. Don't see him in any of the videos. And then who directed Frank Rojas to call Carrigan and tell him anything? Which, by the way, anything coming out of closed session is a violation. So Frank Rojas violated, according to Carrigan, closed session. And according to the record, lied to him. Because 3 of the council members did not vote in public to get rid of Carrigan. They said this process, collectively we vote, has been tainted and needs to be stopped because it has breached the confidentiality of the candidates. And my question in all of this that I hope you all ask yourself is, has anybody asked Frank Rojas, Sonia Carvalho, Thomas Rice, Theodore Sanchez, Sandra Ibarra, Juan Figueroa, Fred Charette, Ben Reynoso, Councilwoman Calvin, Councilman Alexander, has anybody, since you've received this claim in November, questioned Frank Rojas and Kaufman Associates why they, in the midst of a contract, would violate closed session, call a candidate, and put a contractual city in the face of litigation? Why did you do that, Frank? Why? It's a question I have. The actual timeline events, will you guys, this just takes us up right to August 28th. I want you to digest what you're reading in the claim. Go back, read the claim. Go back through this timeline, because tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, then we're going to go from August 28th to November 30th. And we're going to look at what Steve Carrigan's claiming versus what actually happened. And today, this afternoon, the left side of the corrupt dais, Theodore Sanchez, Sandra Ibarra, Fred Charette, and Juan Figueroa, voted to bring a censure forward on Councilwoman Kimberly Calvin for breaching confidentiality, whatever Sonia said. I'm gonna make sure that we put it out there. And remember, all of this is happening. Everything that we just discussed is happening in front of the city attorney. Everything is happening. And Susie Soren. So please, tomorrow night, be ready. I'm going to just do a quick overview from the 28th, and then we're going to hit all the way to November 30th. And get your questions. I know I didn't go through a lot of the chat tonight, because I want you to think about this. This is really important because this is a $2.2 million claim. And they've voted to release a report in regards to this claim. And if that report doesn't look like this, then it's going to prove exactly why the city paid for its own independent investigation and not the truth. So I will see you guys tomorrow night. Thank you so much, San Bernardino. I appreciate you. I will go through the chats, and I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night.